Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Chaotic G bringing you Danian Dagger. So I really wanted to make a Danian deck that could use Bodo's Dagger and use it effectively. So I started out with an idea and then I was looking at the Danian creatures and I fell in love here with Heodrum, the Rock Ripper. So he expends Earth, Heodrum gains 20 energy. So this is really strong. It's because you don't need your Earth, because Bodo's Daggers doesn't rely on elements. So right off the bat, you go from 55 energy to 75 energy, which is really good, and that's about what it takes to make it in the current meta of the game. You need to have high health, so his expendability allows him to do that. Next, I have Ambolix here. Expend water, infect target creature. So again, you don't need your elements in this deck. So expending the water to infect the creature is really good because the infecting is going to come in handy here with some of the cards that are teched in here and help you do some of your combos. I have another Ambolix here. Expend water, infect target creature. Great, he has 2 music counters. So right off the bat between these two, we're looking at 4 counters. I have a Heodrum Rock Ripper here in the middle as well, with a Queen Alexia next to him. She gives everyone Defender, and infected creatures that you control or that are infected count as Mandiblores you control. So really good, and then if affected creature dies, she gains a music counter. She starts with 2 counters and has Earth, so this is great. Lore, High Muse of the Hive, the star of the deck. 2 music counters, 90 wisdom, 35 health. Lore may play music cards in your discard pile as if they were in your hand. This is super broken. Allows you to recycle a lot of really good utility and use your broken cards more than once. So super strong. But if you play a music card this way, remove it from the game. So you can play it from your hand and then you play it from your discard pile and then it's gone forever. But by then you've already gotten the utility out of it, so it's really good. He's a very strong card. So up here, your Heodrums have Bodo's Dagger, of course. Equipped creature deals an additional 10 damage with non-elemental, non-discipline attacks. If you guys watch my channel, you're pretty familiar with Bodo's Dagger. My Ambolix up here on the left has Buy Mower Cycle. Gives range and swift. Everybody knows what this does. You sacrifice it to give it to any creature. A staple card, a really broken card. So I'm going to make a separate video addressing, how I think Chaotic moving forward can address cards like these that define the meta. But for now, of course, we're going to play it by motorcycle. The Ambolix on the right is using a Zai Mind Probe. Equipped creature cannot be the target of music or abilities played by creatures with lower wisdom than it. So really good card. Your Ambolix has 90 wisdom. So a Copon's max wisdom is 80, and an Olimar's Perithian Racer's max wisdom is 80. So Ambolix cannot be targeted by a Copon or an Olimar. So if you're playing against Snipe, this is really good. Because they max out at 80 and this Ambolix has 90, so they're 10 shy, so they can't target your Ambolix. So a Zai Mind Pro is really good when you're trying to avoid Snipe or other decks that would do little nuanced things to disturb your board. Your Queen Alexia, she has 70 wisdom. I didn't want to chance it and give her a Zai Mind Probe, so I went ahead and just gave her a Weightless Energy Vessel. So sure, I don't get the blanket protection from abilities, so Omar can still expend fire to target her, but she can't be targeted by musics now regardless. So that's the trade-off here, is I went for the guaranteed can't be targeted by musics over the, well, maybe they can or maybe they can't, so that's what I did there. My Lore, High Muse of the Hive, he has 90 wisdom, so of course I had to give him an Azai Mind Probe. This is so that he can't be targeted by musics or abilities from creatures with lower wisdom than him. So as I explained, Copon and Omar can't target him, which is really good. So it makes him, he's one less target for Snipe. So the goal of the deck here is to initiate combat, expend your Earth, gain your energy, and then try to beat them down with your Bodo Dagger attack deck. So your Ambolixes, what you're going to do is you're going to expend your water to infect a creature. So what you should do is expend you have two here. So expend water on your Ambulix. One of them infects themselves. This is important, and I'll get into that in a moment. One of them should infect themselves, and the other should infect whoever you're choosing to attack. Okay? Because you have some attack cards in your attack deck that are going to be boosted by the amount of Mandiblores adjacent and or infected creatures on the board. So it's very important that the positioning of your Heodrum, your main fighter, and knowing who you're going into, who you plan to fight, etc. Especially because your Alexia is going to gain counters for every victory. So every turn you're going to be using your expend ability to infect creatures, and so your first turn you'll infect 2, and then their turn you'll infect another 2, and so forth. And so you should have, by turn 2 or 3, you should have a good amount of targets on the board infected. Moving forward, so what we do is we play the Strain of Infection combo with lore. What the Strain of Infection reads, it's free. Uninfect up to 3 infected creatures. Target Danian creature gains music for each creature uninfected this way. So on turn 2, so typically you don't really do this on the first turn because you need the targets that you're fighting into to be infected. So usually on turn 2, there should be at least 3 infected creatures on the board, assuming you won your combat, because 1 died, so Queen would gain a counter. You uninfect them, and you give the counters to Lore, because he's your main caster. So Lore, he's going to gain another 3 counters. So this will put him at 5 counters. Keep in mind, you're starting with 8 counters. So your Ambulixes have 2 each, your Queen has 2, and Lore has 2. So there's no way you should be like dry on counters. So that's the combo. So you would play Strain of Infection, you would put the 3 counters on your Lore. Lore now has 5 combos, or 5 music counters, and your Strain of Infection is now in the graveyard. Okay. Your main musics that you play in here is Elemental Elegy. So you could choose a target creature, and if it has at least 1 elemental type, it loses an element type of your choice until the end of turn. Otherwise, it cannot move until the end of turn. So if you use this on a creature that has 1 element and now they have no elements, it's a Song of Stasis. So they're stuck and they can't move. So this is a really good tech card here. If you're playing against Zamul, Zamul only has Earth. So if you use Elemental Elegy on Zamul, he can't move. So you gave yourself a shot here, and it allows you to play the game. Very strong card. And now if it's in your graveyard, you can cast it again with Lore. So you get 2 uses out of this. I play 2 Refrain of Denials, the Overworld Underworld. Dispel target Overworld or Underworld music. Really good card, super strong. Staple in this deck because you're trying to keep everything together. Those are the 2 tribes that hurt you the most. Underworld has Battle Gear Destruction, which really hurts, and they snipe you. So, I mean, it's a double whammy there. So you need to play 2 Refrain of Denials. You got your Overworld playing their heals. They're playing Rhyme of the Reckless. They also have Song of Stasis, which really hurts you. If they stasis your Heodrum, he can't move. It's going to force you to move with your Ambulixes, you see? And you're probably going to lose that fight, and that's going to put you behind. So that's a devastating blow. So 2 Refrain of Denials. And again, once you've played it, it'll be in the discard pile, which allows Lore to cast it again. So you're looking at 4 negations. Really good, and it's for the problem tribes. Adaptive Progression. So this music costs 2, but isn't a problem for your Danians because you start with 8. Negate target elemental attack. That means negate it in its entirety. So it negates the damage and it negates the effect. Really good card. Shuts down things like Super Cooled Rain, which would really give you a problem. So Super Cooled Rain and other devastating elemental attacks, it can negate a Twister of the Elements, so you can keep your opponent from getting ahead that way. So very good tech card here, and it can give you that one last shot that you need if you really need to survive one more hit. And once it's in the discard pile, you can play it again with your Lore, High Mage of the Hive. So very good. Keep in mind, he's going to have 5 counters by turn 2, at least. And your Queen might have at least 3 if you won that combat and you did things the way I explained. So Moving forward here, I play one Strain of Clarity. It's also a free music, it's generic. Shuffle target Mirage location into its owner's location deck. If it was the active location, the top card of its owner's location deck becomes the new active location. So what you do here is if your opponent flips Mephidian Mirage, that card is going to devastate you. So what you want to do is you play Strain of Clarity and you get rid of it. It gets shuffled back into the deck and they have to reveal a new location. So this is really going to help you out. Helps you stay in the game. Prexarchasm is also a Mirage. So if they play Prexarchasm Blight to keep you from gaining energy or healing, that can really hurt you as well, because that's the whole point of your deck. Heodrum's going to gain 20, but if they play the Prexarchasm, you're stuck at 55. So Strain of Clarity, very good card. It's free, and if it's in the graveyard, you can cast it for free again. It also applies to Mirage cards that are Miraged on the board. So if they have like a Mephidian Mirage or a Prexarchasm Blight or something like that already Miraged on the board, you can get rid of it. And this applies to your own as well. So if you're playing Mirages, you can get rid of your own Mirage, or if you need a different location, you can flip your own Mirage to flip another location. So really good tech card, and it's free. Real quick, because I just want to finish up on the musics here. There's a lot of combos in this deck. So Strain of Infection, you're going to cast it once on turn 2, and you're going to gain 3 counters for your lore. Well, Strain of Infection is going to be in the graveyard now. So now you can cast it for free on your next turn and gain another 2 counters on your lore. I mean, that's if you really need all these counters, but I just want to share all the tech and all the things that you can do in this deck, because lore is super broken. He's really good. I mean, he's so much utility in this card. It's broken. And with one music card, you can just replenish him. Like, you can give him up to like 5-6 counters. So really good. All right. So moving forward over here to the location deck, I play 2 Darkened Dunes, Initiative Air. Creatures with Earth gain range and Swift 1. So your main fighter's Heodrum, so he'd gain range and Swift 1. So what you do is you'd get that, you'd use that to get into the back row. You combine it with Bimower, now you can go all the way to the back. And then once engaged, you can expend your Earth and gain your energy because you won't need it anymore. Mephidian Mirage, of course, Initiative Danian, so I mean, of course I'm going to play it. All creatures gain Swift 1. So same thing, you reveal this location, you chain your Bimower, you can go all the way to the back, and you have initiative guaranteed because you play Danians. Really good card, and it's checkmate if you pull it turn 1, because you're going to Mirage it onto your Heodrum, who's going to be all the way in the back, and it's going to force their support to fight into you. So that's a checkmate card. That's one of those cards where if it's flipped on the first combat, you generally win. I play 1 Mount Pillar Reservoir, Initiative Danian. So when Mount Pillar Reservoir is revealed, each player infects an unaffected creature that he or she controls. This card, I've only played one. It just helps speed up your Strain of Infection combo, and it also works with your attack deck. I play the Cliffs. So Initiative Power. At the beginning of combat, all creatures gain Earth. So what you do is, when you reveal Cliffs, you chain 2 Cliffs, and you expend your Earth. So then, on the chain, you're going to lose your Earth, and you're going to gain 20 energy, putting you at 75. And then the Cliffs will resolve, and you're going to gain Earth again. So then you can expend your Earth again, and now you're at 95. So really good card. That's why it's in here. Stronghold Mourn. At the beginning of combat, engaged creatures gain all the elements. So what you do, same thing. So Stronghold Mourn will reveal. You chain your Heodrum. You gain 20 energy, putting you at 75. And then when you attack, you gain Earth again. Well, you gain all the elements, but Earth is the one that matters. So then you gain your Earth again, and now you can gain another 20 energy, putting you at 95. So really good card. Very good in this deck. A Carnival of Confusion. Yeah, this is the tech that I love in here. I love being able to play cards like these in really different decks. So this is one of those cards you don't see played all the time. Carnival of Confusion. Initiative Speed. So when Carnival of Confusion becomes the active location, creatures lose all elemental types. So what you do is you chain to its activation. So when you flip Carnival of Confusion, you expend your Earth, And you're also going to expend your water and stuff here because you want to make sure that that goes off before this location becomes active. And you expend your earth, so then it doesn't matter. So all your elements are going to get mixed up according to Carnival of Confusion. And the elemental attacks are going to deal extra damage, but that's fine because typically your opponent lost the elements that they needed and gained ones that they don't. So you're not really worried about that extra 5 elemental damage. And what this does is it gives you an advantage in combat because you've already expended your earth. You're at 75 energy. They lost the elements they need to fight you, and so it helps to make it a one-sided fight. So that's a really good card. Moving forward here to the attack deck, I got some goodies in here for you guys. So this is the Danian Dagger attack deck. We play Flash Kick. So this helps you look at your location deck and get things in order. Lets you see what you want to set up with or what you want to switch to. So really good card, and it's going to do 15. We have Mandiblor Might. This is one of the reasons I built this deck, because I wanted to play cards like this. So Mandiblor Might is a Bodo's Dagger card. Deal 5 damage for each adjacent Mandiblor card you control. So this is where the infections come in handy, because when I told you earlier that one Ambulix should infect itself, and then the other Ambulix should infect the creature you're fighting against, this is why. So Queen makes infected creatures when your adjacent creatures have Defender, and when a Mandiblor or an infected creature is put, or that's not what I'm looking at. It's also the music counters on Alexia count as Mandiblors you control, and then infection is infected creatures count as Mandiblors you control. That's what I was looking for, but I forgot that's not on the effect text. It's been a while, guys. So what you do here is Mandiblor Might's going to do 10 now because you have 2 infected creatures adjacent to Heodrum when you're fighting. One is the one that you're engaged with, and one would be Ambulix. So this is turn 1 if you're playing Mandiblor Might. So that's 5 plus 5, and then plus 10 because of Bodo's Dagger, so Mandiblor Might would do 20. So that's why it's important that Ambulix infects himself, and the other Ambulix infects who you're fighting against. That way, they're both adjacent, and you'll have at least 20 with this attack. And if they went first and attacked into you, then you can just infect both Ambulixes. Oh, I mean, really, it comes down to the same thing. But the Queen will be adjacent to you. So then your music counters on Queen count as Mandiblors you control. So then that would make this attack do, I think it's 30. So it's stronger on defense, and it's just as strong as offense, and it's 1 build point. So really good card. Like I said, it's why I made this deck. I wanted to play that card. Of course, you have your Reverberate. It'll do 10. If there's another one, it does 10 more, so that's 20 with a 0 build. Screeching Scare. If your creature's courage is more than your imposed engaged creature's power, deal 5. So it's a 0 build that could do 15. So really good for a 0. Your second Mandiblor Might, because this card's really good in this deck. Earth Shape. Really broken. This is one of the reasons why. Literally, this whole deck started with me looking at Mandiblor Might and Earth Shape. So Earth Shape is gain Earth. So that means Bodo's Daggers works. So Earth Shape will do 10, and then your Heodrum will gain Earth, and you already expended your Earth, so then you can gain another 20 energy. And if you have the Cliffs up, you gain another 20 energy. So then your health should be like, if you weren't hit yet, 115. So you can have 115 health with Heodrum if you open with Earth Shape. So I mean, really good, not bad. You can see how it widens the gap, and it still does damage, which is really good, and it resets your expendability. So that's why I play Earth Shape in here. Super strong, and the synergies are off the charts. Second, Screeching Scare, because your attack deck has to be balanced. Your Primal Smash, because of course it's Primal Smash, so it's going to do 30 because of Bodo's Dagger. Flurry of Fist, because I really like this card now. Deal 5 damage for each card in your attack discard pile. So if you have 7 or more, it does 0, but of course you don't play it by that time. You play it before. You have to play 2 of these so that the odds of you pulling it in time are in your favor. If you're going to play 1, don't bother, because most likely you're not going to be playing it in time, and it's going to be a 2 build in your hand for 0, and that doesn't feel good. So Flurry of Fist, you could do up to like 35 damage, 45 damage. It's a really strong card. There's your second Flurry of Fist. Your squeeze play, this helps you get through your attack deck, and it'll do 15 damage. Your second squeeze play. Your second Earth Shape, because you have to play 2. Your Xenocentric Wrath, because it's 20 for a 2 build, and then with Bodo's Dagger, it does 30. Retaliatory Strike. I really like this card, and I'm just like, I have to use it now when I'm playing Bodo's Dagger. So it does 15 base, it'll do 5 by itself, and then 10 more with Bodo's Dagger, and then whatever the last attack that they hit you with was, it does that added up. So it could do, if they hit you for 20, this is going to hit them for 35. So it's a really strong card. If they hit you for 25, you're going to hit them for 40. So super strong. Karna Win, because of course it's Bodo's Dagger, and this is a really good card. I would argue that this could be a staple now. You would play 1 Primal and 2 Karna Wins in every attack deck that you make, just because it's such a good card. Obviously, you play it when you have an odd amount of creatures in play. There's a second Reverberate, really good. 20 for a 0 build, and it's off the charts. There's your second Flash Kick, your second Karna Win, and your second Xenocentric. So this is the Bodo's Dagger Danian deck, so Danian's Dagger. Really good cards, really good deck, really good synergy. It's, it looks really good on paper, but it's not as strong as you think. I hate to say that. It was very disappointing because I play tested this against my buddies here. Like, must have played like 10 games at least with it, and keep in mind my buddies' decks are S tier decks, but it was just a discouraging because it just didn't perform as well as I thought it would. I was looking for like something breakthrough here. But don't get me wrong, this is still a great deck. It's still very strong. It still does well. It has lots of good synergies. If you're a guy like me and you like complicated decks and you like combos and just building advantages on your opponent, this is a great deck for you. The Strain of Infection combo is super strong. You can play it twice. You can just load up your lore here. You can load up your queens so you have more Mandiblores adjacent to Heodrum to use with your Mandiblore Might. So it's really good. You get 4 negations because you can play Refrain twice from your hand and twice from the grave. Adaptive Progressive, you can play it twice because one's from your hand, one's from the grave. Super strong deck. Elemental Elegy is like a Song of Stasis here. Keep that in mind. It's one of the breads and butters of this deck. You need that tech to keep your bad matchups from moving into you. So really strong card. I thought about playing 2. 2 is still an option. I would just move Strain of Clarity. Strain of Clarity, don't underestimate this card. It's in here for a reason. Mirage locations hurt in general, so this is a real good card here. Strain of Clarity. And it's free, so you can play it from your hand and you can play it from your discard pile. So don't forget about that utility. So yeah, guys, this is the deck. If you guys have any questions, just hit me up in the comments. I try to get back to all you guys. Double Ambulix, my location deck. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna be getting back on to making content, especially knowing that Ganon has an announcement for us soon. So I'm looking forward to that. We all just want to play again, right? I just want to see people at my locals, see what people are trying, what people are doing. We all want to learn from each other. So here's the Danian Dagger deck. Pause and rewind if you want to read any specific things or look at things, and I'll see you guys soon.